So they are a family after all, but you say there is no coming back for Prince Harry. Tell us why.
Well, of course, you'd have to have a remarkably short memory to welcome Prince Harry back in the fold at the moment. I mean, you're quite right. The HRH removed from the website the fact that Meghan had received birthday wishes from the royal family. The fact also that after Spare, they were evicted from Frogmore Cottage. They've no base at the moment in the United Kingdom. But the reason why, you just simply have to look at the facts. They were senior working royals for a remarkably short space of time. And what happened the moment they were forced to step down because they wanted a half-in, half-out arrangement, which the Queen didn't think was practical, and it wasn't, Oprah has done enormous damage to the royal family, and there were the accusations of racism, which 2 years later Harry simply lifted and changed to unconscious bias. The facts are, however, that was when he was promoting his memoir Spare, and that was damaging. He attacked his father, he attacked his stepmother, and he attacked his brother. Endless harm. So if they're ever to have a chance of returning to some form of relations with the royal family, they'll simply have to show that they can do things that do not involve constant, ceaseless attacks on them. Said in an interview in The Cut last year, I can say whatever I like. Well, that's what they've been doing. They've been finding losing their Spotify contract, and they've been finding also polls in the United States against them, where previously there'd been a tremendous amount of support. I mean, you simply have to look at what they've been doing, and the issue is trust. Would you trust them? Would you say, if you remember the royal family, and hypothetically they were invited back in some form?
Okay. Okay, I need to bring Duncan in at this point. Richard, you're certainly not short of a word on this bright and early Saturday morning. Duncan, this story came about because the list came out yesterday of the roles, the military roles for the royals, and Harry, for all of his faults, did 2 tours of Afghanistan. He has military experience. Of course, he's outside the fold no role for him, and yet the Princess of Wales, Queen Camilla even, with no military experience, are made commodores and in charge of regiments. So it just sort of felt a bit sad to me. And do you think there is a way back, or is he simply just now too much of a black sheep?
Yeah, good morning. I think what Richard says is absolutely right. We know the reasons why Harry's had this fall from grace, and it doesn't seem like really that long ago. Remember that the couple were getting married in front of 2 billion people, and you had Prince Charles, as he was then, walking Meghan down the aisle. So the loss of his military titles was something that Harry was not happy about. I don't know why he thought he could have his cake and eat it, but he did. So, you know, I think Harry is a member of the family, and blood is thicker than water. I think there's always a way back. But as he told Tom Bradbury in his interview, he said that the ball is in the court of the royals. Well, it's not. And as long as Harry keeps thinking that, he's going to keep being an ousted member of the family. It's not down to the royals. They've behaved pretty well with regard to Meghan and Harry.
And Duncan, just on Richard's point about trust, do you think the way back into the royal family for Prince Harry is if he can prove himself to be trusted again?
Yes, and there's a question of how long will that take, because obviously now, even if Prince William wanted to, he couldn't pick up the phone to his brother and have a frank and full conversation and try and clear the air without fear of it being reported or podcasted or whatever by Harry and the family. So that trust has gone. How you regain that trust? Well, he hasn't spoken out and dropped what would become known as these truth bombs. He hasn't done that for some months now. But I think it could take some years, frankly, before there's any chance of that trust returning.
And do you think, Richard, actually the biggest barrier is his missus? Is the only way back, really, is if he gives Meghan the old royal heave-ho?
Well, of course, there's a lot of speculation. Perhaps there always will be about the state of the marriage, but there's absolutely no doubt. I'd say the marriage was pretty rock solid. I would say there's a tremendous amount since they lost the Spotify contract of wondering what they're going to do next. And it's very, very interesting to see Harry, for example, his work for Sentebale, the charity in the suit, to his work for Invictus. Now, these date back many years, and this, of course, was when he was a senior working member of the royal family and precedes his meeting with Meghan and subsequent marriage. It's extraordinary. I just simply cannot imagine Harry and Meghan returning under circumstances whereby anything that they say or do could be news or could be used by them in some television. For example, they're supposed to have a four-book deal with Random House, and we don't know where that's going. Harry's memoir Spare was very damaging to the royals, but nonetheless, there's still three books out there. It could be Meghan's memoir, Harry's 400 pages that he didn't use in Spare, apparently, and it could be something on Harry's childhood, technically. So you could have a change. They've got to prove themselves, prove perhaps that they can do a great deal as philanthropists, perhaps you go into politics, but something practical, something positive that does not involve causing harm to or knocking the royal family, and then perhaps nations, hopefully, and I agree with Duncan, I mean, it's a very, very sad, it's a tragic situation. Then hopefully things might improve.
And Duncan, what do you think the royal family want out of all of this? Do they feel like blood is thicker than water? Would they like to see Harry welcomed back into the fold? Because he once was one of the most popular members of the royal family.
Oh, that's right. I mean, I remember reporting on Prince Harry when he was literally the royal that guys wanted to go and have a beer with and women wanted to go and have a beer and perhaps a bit more with. Nothing could be further from that situation now. What do the royals think of Harry? I mean, I think they're terrified of the way that Harry and Meghan in particular have behaved, and I think they've behaved. The royal family have conducted themselves brilliantly by not rising to the bait and getting involved with tit for tat across the Atlantic. So, for the royals, their strategy has remained the same. I think they're just sitting back, waiting for the next bombshell to hit the floor, which unfortunately seems to happen whenever Harry and Meghan actually need to sign a new deal or make some money out of their royal status.